Hello everyone. Welcome to Fluent English Journey. Don't forget to subscribe so you can get daily tips that will help you improve your English step by step. Today, we are going to talk about something very practical and useful that can make your English stronger, smoother, and more natural. Many people spend years studying English. They learn grammar rules, memorize long lists of vocabulary words, read books, and do exercises. All of this is good, but sometimes, when it comes to real conversations, speaking fluently can still feel very difficult. You may know many words, but you might struggle to put them together to say exactly what you want. One of the best ways to improve your English is to learn and use daily sentences that you can naturally use in different situations. These sentences are more than just greetings like hello or how are you, and more than small talk like nice weather today. They are sentences that help you share your thoughts, give opinions, respond to others, and speak confidently in conversations. For example, instead of memorizing long lists of words, you can learn a sentence like, I really appreciate the way you explained that because it helped me understand better. This sentence is very useful. You can use it in meetings, at school, with friends, or even with family. Using sentences like this makes your English sound fluent and natural. Your speech will flow smoothly instead of being a series of short, disconnected words. Another important tip is to focus on flexible sentences. A sentence like, I am curious to know what you think about this idea is very useful because you can use it in many situations. You can say it in a classroom discussion, a work meeting, or even a casual chat with friends. By changing just a few words, you can adapt the sentence for different situations. This way, you don't have to start from scratch every time you want to speak. This approach also trains your brain to remember patterns, not just individual words. When your brain recognizes patterns, speaking English becomes much easier, and you can sound more like a native speaker. Advanced learners often memorize common sentence patterns and adjust them slightly depending on the conversation. By practicing these sentences every day, you will start to notice which phrases feel natural in your daily life. You will also see which sentences can be adapted for different people or topics. Another useful tip is to pay attention to how sentences connect. Instead of speaking in short, isolated thoughts, try to use phrases that link your ideas smoothly. For example, instead of saying, I agree, you could say, I agree with you because, and then explain your reason. Linking your ideas like this makes your English sound polished and professional. To summarize so far, the key to speaking English naturally is to practice real sentences, not just words. Choose sentences that are flexible, adaptable, and useful in many situations. Use them every day. Notice how they feel and try to connect your ideas naturally. This will improve your fluency and give you confidence in conversations. When you want to agree with someone, you can start with a simple sentence like, I agree with you. But if you want your speech to sound richer and more interesting, you can extend it a little. I agree with you, and I think the plan could work even better if we consider this approach. Adding extra ideas makes your sentences longer, more expressive, and clearer. This is an important skill for advanced learners. It also helps the person you are talking to follow your thoughts easily and feel more engaged. Learning to extend your sentences naturally is what separates advanced speakers from intermediate learners. You can practice this by taking a simple idea and building on it step by step. For example, instead of just saying, I like this idea, you can explain why you like it, give suggestions, or share an example. Doing this makes your speech sound complete and confident. Daily use sentences are not only about sharing opinions. They also help you handle everyday situations, like responding politely, giving feedback, or asking for clarification. For example, you can use sentences like, could you explain that a bit more so I can understand fully? Or, I see what you mean, and I would like to add another point. These sentences allow you to participate actively in discussions without hesitation. Many advanced learners face a common problem. They know many words, but are unsure how to put them together naturally. This makes their speech sound choppy or incomplete. Using ready-made sentences for everyday interactions is a simple solution. It gives you confidence immediately because you know how to respond in different situations. Another very important part of using daily sentences effectively is understanding the context. Knowing the right situation to use a sentence is just as important as knowing the sentence itself. Context affects not only the meaning of what you say, but also how others perceive your language. For example, in a professional meeting, you might say, "I understand your perspective, and I would like to explore another possibility." This shows that you are respectful, thoughtful, and collaborative. In a casual conversation with friends, you want to sound relaxed and friendly. For example, instead of saying something formal, you could say, "I see what you mean, and I was thinking maybe we could try something a little different." This keeps the meaning similar, but makes your sentence feel friendly and easygoing, which is perfect for informal situations. The key idea is that using full, ready-made sentences helps you in many ways. It allows you to express your thoughts clearly, extend your ideas naturally, adapt your words for different situations. By practicing these sentences daily, you improve both your fluency and your confidence. Over time, your speech will sound smooth, connected, and professional. Whether you are talking to a friend, a teacher, or a colleague at work, practicing sentences in different situations is very helpful. When you do this, your brain begins to recognize patterns, making it easier to respond quickly without hesitation. This is exactly what happens when native speakers speak naturally. They don't pause to think about every word because their brain already knows the sentence patterns. It is very important to focus on natural phrasing. Many learners make the mistake of memorizing sentences word by word without thinking about how they sound in real conversations. This can make speech sound stiff or robotic. Instead, practice sentences as whole units, paying attention to stress, intonation, and rhythm. For example, "I was wondering if you could share your thoughts on this topic." This sentence sounds more natural if you emphasize the right words and slightly raise your voice at the end to show curiosity. Using natural phrasing makes your English sound smoother, more confident, and ensures the listener understands your meaning clearly. Speaking smoothly is very important, especially in situations where clarity and confidence matter, such as discussions, meetings, or debates. It is also useful to practice sentences that allow you to agree or disagree politely. At an advanced level, simply saying, "I agree" or "I disagree" is not enough. You want sentences that show respect while expressing your opinion. For example, "I see your point, and I think it could work, but I also have another idea that might complement it," or "I understand what you are saying, but I have a slightly different perspective that I would like to share." These sentences are useful not only in professional settings, but also in casual conversations, helping you maintain a friendly and positive tone. Another important use of daily sentences is asking for clarification or more information. Many learners hesitate because they don't know how to ask politely. Instead of saying, "What do you mean?" you can use sentences like, "Could you explain that a bit more so I can fully understand? I'm curious to hear more about your idea." These sentences are polite, respectful, and encourage others to share more details, making the conversation flow naturally. By practicing sentences for expressing opinions, agreeing or disagreeing politely, and asking questions, you can participate actively in any conversation. Daily practice also makes your speech smooth, natural, and confident, no matter who you are talking to. Over time, these ready-made sentences will become second nature. You will find it easier to respond instantly in discussions, meetings, debates, or casual chats with friends. The key takeaway is this: learning daily sentences is not just about memorizing words. It is about practicing full sentences that are flexible, polite, and natural. By focusing on intonation, rhythm, and context, you can speak English in a way that is confident, engaging, and easy for others to follow. Practicing in this way helps you think in English, respond quickly, and sound closer to a native speaker. When asking for clarification or more information, it is important to use polite and natural sentences. Many learners make the mistake of simply saying, "What do you mean?" or "Can you explain?" These are okay, but at an advanced level, you can use sentences that sound more polite, confident, and engaging. For example, "Could you elaborate a little more on that point so I can understand fully? I'm interested in hearing more about your experience with this. Could you tell me a bit more?" These sentences do two important things. They help you gather information. They show the other person that you are actively listening and genuinely interested in the conversation. Using sentences like these frequently makes your conversations richer and more interactive. When someone feels that you are paying attention and contributing meaningfully, they are more likely to share their thoughts fully, which improves the quality of the conversation. One very useful tip for learning daily sentences is to group them by function. Not all sentences are used the same way. Some are for giving opinions, some for asking questions, some for agreeing or disagreeing politely, and some for responding naturally in different situations. Some sentences are for agreeing or disagreeing, some for expressing emotions, and others for making suggestions. By grouping sentences like this, you can quickly pick the right sentence for the right situation. For example, a sentence like, "I really appreciate your help because it made things much easier for me," is perfect for showing gratitude in both professional and personal situations. Another example is, "I am curious to hear how you approach this challenge," which works well in discussions, interviews, or teamwork situations. By practicing sentences in different categories, you can recall them more quickly during real-life conversations. This is exactly what advanced learners need to improve fluency and confidence. It is also important to practice sentences that encourage further conversation. At an advanced level, communication is not just about sharing information, it is about creating meaningful interactions. For example, if someone shares an interesting idea, instead of just nodding, you could say, "That is an interesting point. Could you tell me more about how you reached that conclusion?" Or, "I had not considered that before. Could you explain your reasoning?" Sentences like these invite the other person to elaborate and explain, which lets you practice active listening and respond thoughtfully. Using sentences that encourage conversation also shows respect for the other person's thoughts, making interactions more engaging and positive. Over time, practicing these sentences helps you develop a natural flow in your speech. You will start thinking in English, respond quickly, and sound much more like a native speaker. Daily practice also builds confidence. You will no longer struggle to find words or hesitate while speaking. Instead, you will have a set of ready-made, natural sentences for different situations. You will know how to express your ideas clearly, ask for clarification politely, agree or disagree respectfully, encourage meaningful conversations. This approach is what separates advanced speakers from intermediate learners. It is not just about knowing words, it is about knowing how to use full sentences effectively in real-life communication. By focusing on sentence function, context, and natural phrasing, your English will become smoother, more confident, and engaging for others. Practicing daily sentences is one of the most practical ways to improve your English because it combines fluency, confidence, and communication skills all at once. Sentences that encourage further conversation and show engagement make you appear thoughtful and attentive. At the same time, they help you learn more from conversations because you are actively listening and responding. This strategy is especially useful for learners who want to improve both speaking and listening skills at the same time. By practicing sentences while engaging in dialogue, you are not only speaking more fluently, but also training your brain to process and respond to English naturally. Another effective approach is to practice sentences that express emotions clearly and appropriately. Advanced English is not just about grammar or vocabulary, it's also about conveying feelings, attitudes, and reactions naturally. For example, I am genuinely impressed by how you handled that situation, or I was surprised by the results, and it made me think differently about the topic. These sentences allow you to express emotions in a sophisticated way. By practicing them regularly, you can respond smoothly in different situations without pausing to search for words. Expressing emotions through full sentences also helps you connect better with others, making your communication more human, relatable, and engaging. People respond more positively when they feel you are expressing genuine thoughts and feelings, not just stating facts. Using sentences for storytelling is another excellent technique for advanced learners. Instead of speaking in short, choppy sentences like, I went to the store and bought food. I came back home. You can speak in connected, flowing sentences. Yesterday, I went to the store to buy some ingredients for dinner. While I was there, I noticed a new cafe that had just opened, which looked really interesting. So, I decided to check it out. This style of speaking improves your fluency, allows you to link ideas naturally, and makes your speech more engaging. Advanced learners can use storytelling in personal experiences, professional examples, or presentations. By practicing connected sentences, conversations become livelier, smoother, and easier to follow. Your listeners can understand your ideas clearly, and your speech sounds more natural and confident. It is also very useful to practice sentences that offer suggestions or advice politely. Simple phrases like, have you considered trying this approach? One idea that might work well is, are excellent for both professional meetings and casual conversations. These sentences show respect, invite discussion, and allow you to share your thoughts without sounding bossy or rude. By practicing suggestions in daily sentences, you will be ready to contribute meaningfully in team discussions, group projects, or even casual situations where you want to give advice. In summary, practicing sentences that express emotions, tell stories, or offer suggestions helps you in many ways. It improves your fluency, confidence, and ability to connect with others. It also teaches you how to link ideas naturally, respond thoughtfully, and speak with personality. Advanced learners who focus on these types of sentences will notice a big improvement in the quality of their conversations. By practicing daily, full sentences become your automatic response, making English speech smoother, more expressive, and more enjoyable. When you want to offer suggestions or ideas politely, you can use sentences like, it might make things a little easier if we try this approach. One idea that comes to mind is to start with this step. These sentences let you participate actively in discussions without sounding bossy or rude. They are useful in workplace meetings, group projects, or even casual conversations where you want to help someone or share your opinion respectfully. Regular practice gives you more flexibility and creativity in expressing ideas, which is a key trait of advanced English speakers. Another useful tip is to focus on sentences that combine multiple ideas naturally. Advanced conversations often involve complex topics and several points of view, so learning to express your thoughts clearly in one sentence is essential. For example, I understand the challenges you mentioned, and I believe that by adjusting our approach slightly, we could achieve better results while still maintaining our original goals. This sentence combines understanding, suggestion, and a positive attitude all at once. Practicing sentences like this helps you express complex ideas fluently and makes your speech sound more sophisticated and confident. One of the most effective ways to practice daily sentences is to use them in real-life situations as much as possible. Reading, repeating, and writing sentences is helpful, but speaking them naturally in conversations is what really makes a difference. A practical approach is to choose 5 sentences each day and make an effort to use them in conversations with friends, colleagues, or online discussions. Pay attention to how people respond and adapt the sentences naturally depending on the situation. By practicing sentences this way, you will gradually notice that your speech becomes smoother, ideas are expressed more clearly, and your confidence grows. You will no longer struggle to find the right words because the sentences you practice will become automatic responses. This method also helps you think in English, making responding in conversations faster and more natural. Another important area to focus on is how sentences flow together. Advanced English is not just about knowing individual sentences, it's about connecting ideas smoothly. Linking sentences makes your speech easier to follow and helps others fully understand your thoughts. For example, instead of saying separate points like, "I agree," "We should try this," that could work. You could say, "I agree with your idea, and I think we should try this approach because it could improve the results even further." This single sentence combines agreement, suggestion, and reasoning, making your speech more engaging and professional. Practicing sentences that connect ideas, express suggestions politely, and combine multiple thoughts will make your conversations more interactive, effective, and enjoyable. Over time, this approach will help you speak English like a confident, advanced speaker, whether in professional meetings, casual chats, or academic discussions. Another key area is practicing sentences that help you express agreement and disagreement in a nuanced way. In everyday conversations, it is usually not enough to simply say, "I agree" or "I disagree." Advanced learners benefit from using sentences that show both understanding and critical thinking. For example, "I completely understand your point and I agree with it, but I also think there may be another perspective worth considering. You make an interesting argument, and I see where you are coming from. However, I would like to share a slightly different view." These types of sentences allow you to engage thoughtfully and respectfully in conversations. They are useful not only in professional discussions and academic debates, but also in casual conversations, helping you communicate more effectively and naturally in any setting. Practicing these sentences daily will help you respond confidently, even when others express ideas that differ from yours. You will no longer feel unsure about how to express respectful disagreement. In addition to agreeing and disagreeing, it is very useful to practice sentences for expressing curiosity and asking for more details. Advanced learners often find themselves in situations where they want to continue a conversation or explore a topic further. Sentences like, "I am curious to know how you reached that conclusion. Could you walk me through your thought process so I can understand better?" are excellent because they show interest, engagement, and respect for the other person's ideas. Using sentences like these frequently will naturally lead to longer and richer conversations. Asking follow-up questions in full sentences encourages others to share more information and helps you develop better listening skills. Listening carefully while responding thoughtfully is a critical skill for becoming an advanced English speaker. The more you practice, the easier it becomes to engage in meaningful conversations without hesitation. Another practical strategy is to practice sentences that allow you to express your feelings or reactions clearly and politely. Advanced English is not just about words and grammar, it is also about conveying emotions and attitudes naturally. For example, "I am really impressed by how you managed that project. I was surprised by your results, and it made me think differently about this topic." Using sentences like these helps you respond smoothly in any situation without pausing to search for words under pressure. Expressing feelings in full sentences also helps you connect better with others. People respond positively when they sense that you are authentic and thoughtful. Whether in discussions, meetings, or casual conversations, expressing emotions naturally makes your English sound human, relatable, and engaging. By practicing sentences for agreement, curiosity, and emotional expression, you will notice that your conversations become richer, smoother, and more interactive. In short, advanced English is not just about knowing words, it is about using complete, natural sentences that allow you to agree or disagree respectfully, ask questions thoughtfully, express emotions clearly. Practicing these sentences daily will help you speak with confidence, connect meaningfully with others, and respond quickly in any situation. This approach gradually transforms your English from basic communication into advanced, fluent, and natural conversation. Emotions are an essential part of communication. An advanced English learner should be able to express feelings clearly and naturally without sounding awkward. Being able to communicate emotions effectively makes your speech more human, relatable, and engaging. For example, I was genuinely impressed by how you managed that project. I felt surprised when I learned about that situation, and it made me think differently. These sentences allow you to share your reactions in a sophisticated and thoughtful way. You can also express concern politely using sentences like, I understand the situation is challenging, and I hope we can find a good solution together. Practicing sentences that combine emotion with clarity helps your English sound natural and approachable, which is especially useful in both personal and professional settings. People respond more positively when they feel you are genuine, considerate, and thoughtful in your expressions. Another important area for advanced learners is giving advice or making suggestions politely. Many learners struggle with offering ideas without sounding bossy. Using ready-made sentences can solve this problem. For example, one thing you might consider is trying this approach. It has worked well for others in similar situations. I have an idea that could help, and I would be happy to share it if you're interested. These sentences are collaborative and respectful, allowing you to participate actively in discussions and problem-solving in the workplace, at school, or even in social situations. Practicing these sentences daily will make it easier to offer helpful suggestions naturally and contribute meaningfully to conversations. Practicing sentences for storytelling is another very useful technique for advanced learners. When telling stories, it is important to link ideas smoothly, provide enough details, and make your sentences flow naturally. Instead of speaking in short, choppy sentences, you can use connected, flowing sentences that make your story engaging and easy to follow. Instead of speaking in short, disconnected sentences like, I went to the gallery. I attended a workshop. I learned a lot. You can combine ideas into a single flowing sentence. Last weekend, I visited a new art gallery in the city. While I was there, I attended a workshop on painting techniques, which was both informative and inspiring, and it gave me new ideas for my own artwork. This type of sentence practice has many benefits. It improves fluency, helps you connect ideas clearly, and makes your speech sound more sophisticated and interesting. Advanced learners can use this technique in both personal storytelling and professional examples, making conversations more engaging, memorable, and enjoyable. Practicing connected sentences also teaches you how to use transitions naturally, which is essential for expressing multiple thoughts in one sentence without confusing your listener. In addition, practicing sentences for emotions, suggestions, and storytelling at the same time allows you to combine skills naturally. For example, while telling a story, you can include your reactions, feelings, and observations, making your speech richer and more interactive over time. This helps you respond more quickly in conversations, think in English, and speak confidently in both casual and formal situations. Using these strategies consistently will make your English sound fluent, expressive, and polished. You will find it easier to share opinions, give feedback, tell stories, and connect emotionally with others. By practicing daily, these sentences gradually become second nature, making your conversations smoother, richer, and more enjoyable. Practicing storytelling sentences is a great way to improve advanced English because it allows you to use complex sentence structures, transition words, and descriptive language, all of which are important for clear and engaging communication. When you tell a story using connected sentences, you naturally capture the listener's attention and make your speech more interesting. Instead of speaking in short, disconnected phrases, you learn to link ideas smoothly, describe events clearly, and include your thoughts and reactions naturally. Another key area for advanced learners is practicing sentences for handling disagreements or sensitive topics politely. In many conversations at work, in school, or even with friends, people may have very different opinions. Knowing how to respond respectfully and thoughtfully is essential. For example, I understand your point and I respect your opinion, but I would like to offer another perspective that might help us see the situation differently. You raise a valid point and I agree with part of it. However, I think we should also consider these factors. Sentences like these allow you to express your ideas clearly while maintaining a polite and professional tone, which is a crucial skill for advanced English learners. Using daily sentences to encourage further conversation is another effective strategy. Instead of letting conversations end abruptly, you can use sentences that invite the other person to speak more. For example, "That is very interesting. Could you tell me more about how you approached that challenge? I had not thought of it that way before. Could you explain your reasoning in more detail?" These sentences show curiosity, engagement, and respect for the other person's thoughts. They also create opportunities for longer, more meaningful conversations, which help you develop both speaking and listening skills at the same time. By encouraging others to explain their ideas, you learn to listen carefully, respond thoughtfully, and participate actively instead of relying on short or simple phrases. Advanced learners also benefit from practicing sentences that combine multiple ideas naturally. Complex conversations often require expressing several points in one sentence, which makes your speech clearer and more sophisticated. For example, I understand the concerns you mentioned, and I believe that by adjusting our approach slightly, we could improve the results while still maintaining our original goals. This sentence combines understanding, suggestion, and a positive attitude, making it more advanced than speaking in separate, disconnected points. Practicing sentences like this teaches you how to express multiple thoughts smoothly, which is essential for discussions, meetings, or debates. Another benefit of using these types of sentences is that they help you think in English and respond more quickly in conversations. By practicing complex sentences regularly, you train your brain to organize your thoughts clearly and communicate them effectively. Over time, your speech becomes more confident, fluent, and engaging, and you will be able to handle a wider range of topics naturally. In short, practicing sentences for storytelling, polite disagreements, and encouraging further conversation is a powerful way to improve your English. It develops fluency, confidence, and communication skills simultaneously, helping you speak like an advanced, natural English speaker. Combining multiple ideas in a single sentence is essential for advanced learners. These strategies make your English more natural, expressive, and interactive, allowing you to participate fully in any discussion. By using these sentences daily, you will gradually improve your fluency, listening skills, and confidence, and your English will sound polished and professional in both formal and casual settings. A useful strategy for advanced learners is practicing sentences that combine multiple ideas naturally. For example, you raised some important points, and I think by adjusting our strategy slightly, we could address those concerns while also improving efficiency and maintaining quality. This single sentence expresses understanding, offers a suggestion, and communicates optimism all at once. Using sentences like this helps you sound articulate, confident, and fluent, bringing your English closer to the natural flow of native speakers. It is equally important to practice sentences that express gratitude or appreciation in a detailed and sincere way. Instead of simply saying thank you can expand your sentence. I really appreciate the effort you put into this project, and it has made a significant difference in the results we achieved together. Detailed expressions of gratitude sound genuine and make your interactions more meaningful, whether in professional or personal contexts. Similarly, you can recognize someone else's contributions with sentences like, I value your input on this matter, and it has given me new insights that I had not considered before. Practicing these types of sentences enhances your interpersonal communication skills and helps you build stronger relationships through thoughtful language. Another highly practical area is learning sentences that allow you to express opinions clearly and persuasively. Advanced learners often need to communicate ideas confidently without sounding aggressive or uncertain. For example, based on my experience, I believe that taking this approach could lead to better outcomes, and I would be happy to discuss the details further. I see several advantages in this method, and I think it aligns well with our overall goals. These sentences combine clarity, confidence, and politeness, allowing you to convey authority and credibility while remaining approachable and respectful. Practicing sentences for expressing opinions helps you participate actively in discussions, meetings, or debates. Over time, you will be able to share your perspective without hesitation and respond to questions or challenges more naturally. Advanced learners should also focus on sentences that show understanding and acknowledgement of others' viewpoints while contributing new ideas. This skill is especially useful in professional environments, collaborative projects, or academic discussions where balancing respect and assertiveness is key. For example, I see your perspective and think it is valid, and I would like to suggest another idea that might complement it. Sentences like this demonstrate thoughtfulness, openness, and cooperation, making your communication more effective and your interactions more positive. Combining sentences that express opinions, gratitude, recognition, and suggestions allows you to handle conversations more naturally and fluently. Practicing them every day gradually improves your confidence, fluency, and ability to respond in real time. As these sentences become second nature, your English will sound polished, professional, and engaging, and you will be able to interact effectively in both casual and formal settings. Advanced learners should also practice sentences that describe experiences, observations, and events in detail. Using descriptive sentences allows you to communicate clearly and create vivid images for your listener, making your speech more engaging and enjoyable. For example, instead of saying the event was good, you could say, the event was very well organized, and the speaker shared valuable insights that helped me understand the topic in depth. Instead of saying, I enjoyed the presentation, you could say, I really enjoyed the presentation because it was engaging, informative, and encouraged active participation from the audience. Practicing descriptive sentences regularly will help you express ideas naturally, make your conversations more lively, and keep your listener interested. Another important area for advanced learners is practicing sentences that encourage collaboration and teamwork in professional or group settings. Using polite and inclusive language is essential. For example, I think it would be helpful if we combined our ideas and worked together on this project. We could try this approach together, and I believe it will lead to better results. These sentences show cooperation, value others' contributions, and reinforce polite communication habits, which are crucial for learners who want to interact confidently in social or professional situations. Regular practice of collaborative sentences makes it easier to contribute ideas without sounding pushy or dominating the conversation. A crucial skill for advanced English learners is using sentences to make polite requests or ask for help naturally and confidently. Simple phrases like, "Can you help me?" or "I need this" can often sound too direct or blunt. Instead, you can use full sentences that are polite and respectful, such as, "Would you mind helping me with this task? I would really appreciate your guidance. If you have a moment, I would love to get your advice on this matter." These sentences not only communicate your requests clearly, but also show respect for the other person's time and expertise, which is especially important in professional and academic settings. Using full sentences for requests, suggestions, and collaboration has several benefits. It enhances your fluency because you are practicing complete, natural expressions instead of short, disconnected phrases. It helps you sound confident and approachable, making people more likely to respond positively. It reinforces advanced communication habits, including politeness, engagement, and clarity, all of which are necessary for professional success and meaningful personal interactions. Descriptive and collaborative sentences can also be combined with storytelling, opinions, and emotional expressions. For example, you could describe a project you worked on and include details about your experience, your thoughts on improvement, and appreciation for the team's effort. A sentence like, "During the workshop, I observed several effective strategies that the team used, and I believe if we apply some of these methods together, we could achieve even better results while maintaining high quality," accomplishes all of these goals in one natural, flowing statement. Practicing sentences like this prepares you for real-life conversations where you may need to combine multiple ideas politely and clearly. By focusing on descriptive, collaborative, and polite sentences, advanced learners can speak English fluently and confidently in any context. Daily practice gradually makes these sentences second nature, helping you express ideas clearly, participate actively, and interact respectfully in professional, academic, or social settings. Over time, this approach will make your English sound natural, engaging, and highly effective, allowing you to communicate with clarity, confidence, and sophistication. Using polite and well-structured sentences for requests is especially important for building stronger relationships, whether in workplaces, academic discussions, or team projects. Practicing sentences for asking help allows you to gain confidence and make requests without feeling awkward or hesitant. It is equally important to practice sentences for clarifying information politely and effectively. Advanced learners often face situations where instructions, explanations, or conversations are not immediately clear. Instead of saying, "I do not understand," you can use more thoughtful sentences such as, "I want to make sure I understood correctly. Could you explain that part again? Could you clarify what you mean by this point? I want to follow your ideas accurately." These sentences show attentiveness, respect, and engagement, preventing misunderstandings and keeping the conversation positive and constructive. Using clarification sentences regularly helps you participate confidently in discussions without interrupting or causing confusion. Another important category is sentences for giving feedback or sharing evaluations. At an advanced level, it is crucial to provide feedback in a professional, constructive, and encouraging way. Instead of simply pointing out mistakes or saying, "Good job," you can use sentences like, "I think you did a great job on this, and one suggestion I have that could improve it further is to focus on this aspect. Your approach is very effective, and I believe incorporating this idea could make it even better." These sentences combine appreciation with constructive advice, allowing you to give feedback confidently without sounding critical or harsh. Practicing these types of sentences improves collaboration skills and makes your language sound sophisticated, professional, and thoughtful. Advanced learners should also focus on sentences that express opinions about abstract or complex ideas. Communicating opinions on complicated subjects can be challenging, but using structured, polite sentences makes it easier. For example, "Based on my understanding, I think this approach could work well, although there are some aspects we may need to consider further. I see several benefits in this idea, and I believe it aligns with our overall objectives while allowing room for improvement. These sentences demonstrate critical thinking, clarity, and respect for other viewpoints, which are essential skills for academic discussions, debates, or professional meetings. Practicing sentences in these categories, requests, clarifications, feedback, and expressing complex opinions helps advanced learners speak naturally and confidently. By using complete, well-structured sentences, you develop the ability to participate actively in conversations, maintain professionalism, and communicate effectively in any context. Over time, practicing these skills makes your English more fluent, engaging, and effective. Whether you are in professional, academic, or social situations, daily practice of well-structured sentences gradually turns them into second nature. This allows you to respond quickly, think in English, and express ideas clearly, politely, and confidently. Advanced English learners should focus on practicing sentences that express opinions about abstract or analytical topics. These sentences require careful phrasing to sound natural, confident, and thoughtful. For example, instead of simply saying, "I think this is good," you can say, "I believe this concept has great potential because it addresses key challenges effectively and could lead to meaningful results." From my perspective, this approach is innovative and has the advantage of being adaptable to different situations. Using sentences like these allows you to participate confidently in intellectual discussions, academic debates, or workplace strategy meetings. They also help you explain your thoughts thoroughly and persuasively, which is an essential skill for advanced communication. Another effective strategy is practicing sentences that compare ideas or evaluate options. In many conversations, advanced learners need to discuss choices, weigh different perspectives, or make informed decisions. For example, both options have their strengths, but I think option A may be more practical in the short term, while option B could provide long-term benefits. Comparing these strategies, it seems that combining elements from both approaches could yield the best results. These sentences communicate analysis clearly and logically, demonstrate critical thinking, and allow you to contribute meaningfully in problem-solving discussions. This skill is highly valued in professional, academic, and collaborative environments. It is also extremely useful to practice sentences that manage disagreements or conflicts respectfully. At an advanced level, communication is not only about sharing ideas, but also about maintaining positive relationships even when opinions differ. For example, "I understand your concerns and I think we can find a solution that addresses both of our perspectives. While I see your point, I believe there is another approach that might work better, and I would like to explore it with you." Sentences like these allow you to engage in conversations without confrontation, express your viewpoint politely, and work toward mutual understanding and cooperation. Another key area for advanced learners is practicing sentences that integrate multiple ideas into a single statement. Complex conversations often require combining explanation, evaluation, and suggestion in one sentence. For example, "I understand the challenges you mentioned, and I believe that by adjusting our approach slightly, we could address those concerns while improving efficiency and maintaining quality." This type of sentence demonstrates understanding, problem-solving skills, and optimism, making your speech fluent, articulate, and professional. Consistent practice of these sentences helps learners develop confidence, clarity, and natural flow in English. When you combine abstract thinking, analysis, evaluation, and respectful disagreement, your communication becomes more sophisticated and versatile. Over time, this practice allows you to participate actively in high-level discussions, express complex ideas persuasively, handle challenging situations gracefully. These skills are exactly what advanced learners need to speak confidently in academic, professional, or social settings, ensuring their English is not only correct but also effective engaging, and natural. Practicing sentences that help you handle disagreements and difficult situations calmly is especially important. They teach you to respond politely, maintain professionalism, and avoid creating tension, even in challenging conversations. For example, "I understand your perspective, and I think we can find a solution that works for both of us. While I see your point, I believe there may be another approach worth exploring together." Using sentences like these regularly helps you stay composed, respectful, and confident, which is essential for effective communication in any context. Another practical area is practicing sentences that encourage collaboration and teamwork. In group discussions, professional meetings, or team projects, it is important not only to express your ideas clearly, but also to acknowledge and build on the contributions of others. For example, "I think if we combine our strengths, we can achieve better results together. Your suggestion is excellent, and if we add this idea, we could create an even stronger outcome." Sentences like these show that you are thoughtful, solution-focused, and cooperative. Regular practice of collaborative sentences helps you communicate inclusively, strengthen relationships, and appear professional and considerate. They also make group interactions more productive and create a positive environment where everyone feels valued. Finally, advanced learners benefit from practicing sentences that express uncertainty or explore ideas carefully. These allow you to consider multiple possibilities, weigh options, and respond thoughtfully, which is crucial for nuanced and high-level English communication. Sometimes, it is important to communicate tentative thoughts without sounding indecisive or careless. For instance, you can say, "I am not entirely sure, but it seems this approach might be effective under certain circumstances. Based on what I understand, this could work, although I would like to examine it further." Sentences like these allow you to participate thoughtfully in discussions, demonstrate careful reasoning, and maintain credibility, which is highly valued in professional, academic, and intellectual conversations. Practicing these sentences helps you balance confidence with humility and ensures that your ideas are expressed respectfully and reflectively. It is equally important to practice sentences for reflecting on experiences or expressing personal growth. Advanced learners can share insights meaningfully using sentences like, "I learned a lot from this experience, and it helped me understand the importance of planning and collaboration. This project taught me new skills and allowed me to improve my problem-solving abilities." These sentences help you communicate reflections naturally, show self-awareness, and express growth without sounding boastful or vague. Practicing reflective sentences regularly improves your speaking skills and allows you to engage thoughtfully with others. By focusing on handling disagreements, encouraging collaboration, expressing uncertainty, and reflecting on experiences, you make your English more advanced, confident, and versatile. Practicing these sentences in real-life conversations helps you respond gracefully, interact effectively, and contribute meaningfully, whether in professional, academic, or personal settings. Over time, these sentences become second nature, making your English sound polished, natural, and sophisticated. Reflective sentences are a very important part of advanced English practice. They allow learners to talk naturally about personal experiences, challenges, and growth. For example, instead of saying, "This situation was difficult," you can say, "This situation challenged me, but it also allowed me to develop new skills and gain a fresh perspective." Sentences like this make your communication more engaging, demonstrate maturity and critical thinking, and help articulate personal development effectively. Practicing reflective sentences regularly allows learners to speak smoothly about themselves and keeps conversations interesting for listeners. Another useful area is practicing sentences that express possibility or probability. Advanced conversations often involve considering outcomes, predicting results, or discussing hypothetical situations. Instead of vague phrases like, "This might work," you can say, "It is possible that this approach could improve efficiency, especially if we implement it carefully. There is a high probability that this strategy will succeed, given the resources and planning involved." These sentences build confidence in discussing abstract, strategic, or future-oriented ideas and make your English sound professional, analytical, and precise. Practicing sentences that demonstrate empathy and understanding is equally important. Advanced English is not just about grammar and vocabulary, it's about connecting with people. For example, instead of simply saying, "I understand," you can say, "I can understand why you feel that way, and I want to help in any way I can. I see that this situation is challenging for you, and I hope we can work together to find a solution." Sentences like these show compassion, build trust, and make your communication more human and relatable. Regular practice ensures that your language is not only fluent, but socially aware and impactful, helping you navigate sensitive or emotionally charged conversations successfully. Advanced learners should also practice sentences for negotiating, persuading, or influencing others. Instead of giving direct commands, which can sound harsh, you can say, "I suggest we consider this approach because it may help us achieve better results. One idea that could work well is to try this method, and I would be happy to explain why I think it might be effective." Sentences like these allow you to present ideas persuasively while remaining polite and collaborative, which is essential in professional meetings, group discussions, or any situation where teamwork is important. Regular practice of these sentences helps learners respond thoughtfully, participate actively, and express themselves clearly. Over time, you will notice that your English becomes more fluent, precise, and natural, and you will be able to handle complex conversations with confidence. Whether the discussion involves personal reflection, exploring possibilities, showing empathy, or persuading others, using these sentences in real-life situations makes your speech professional, articulate, and socially aware. Practicing sentences for negotiation and persuasion is essential for advanced English learners. Instead of making direct statements or demands, you can use sentences that are polite, professional, and persuasive. For example, "If we consider this approach, I believe it could benefit both sides, and I would like to discuss the details further. Based on the available information, this solution seems fair, and I hope we can reach an agreement that works for everyone involved." Sentences like these are especially useful in professional meetings, collaborative projects, or any situation where tact, diplomacy, and respectful communication are required. Practicing negotiation and persuasion sentences helps you present ideas confidently, influence others, and maintain credibility and politeness simultaneously. Another key area is practicing sentences for summarizing or concluding discussions. Advanced learners often need to end conversations, meetings, or presentations clearly and professionally, ensuring their main points are understood. Instead of giving a short or abrupt ending, you can say, "To summarize, we have discussed several options, and I believe the best way forward is to combine the strengths of each approach." In conclusion, the key points we covered suggest that careful planning and collaboration will lead to the most effective results. Using summarizing sentences regularly helps you finish discussions confidently, organize your thoughts clearly, and leave a strong impression on listeners. It also makes conversations more structured and professional, which is especially important in workplaces, academic settings, or group projects. Advanced learners should also focus on sentences for participating effectively in debates or discussions where multiple viewpoints are shared. Instead of simply saying, "I think this," or "I do not agree," you can use sentences like, "I see the merit in your argument, and I would like to add another perspective that might complement your point. While I agree with part of what you said, I think there are additional factors we should consider to fully understand the situation." These sentences allow you to express disagreement or alternative ideas respectfully without sounding confrontational. They demonstrate critical thinking and analytical skills, enabling you to contribute meaningfully in discussions. Using sentences for debates and discussions helps learners stay engaged, build on others' ideas, and participate confidently in academic, professional, or social conversations. Regular practice of these sentences improves your ability to express complex ideas clearly, engage in discussions smoothly, and demonstrate both intelligence and respect. By focusing on negotiation, summarizing, and debate sentences, advanced learners enhance their communication skills in multiple ways. You learn how to influence others politely, conclude discussions professionally, and handle disagreements with tact, all while sounding fluent, confident, and natural. Practicing these sentences in real-life situations, whether in meetings, class discussions, group projects, or casual debates, makes your English versatile, professional, and effective. Over time, these sentences become second nature, allowing you to participate in complex conversations with clarity, poise, and confidence, making your communication more persuasive, organized, and impactful. Another essential skill is explaining cause and effect clearly. Often, conversations require you to show reasoning or connect ideas logically. Instead of simply saying, "This happened because of that," you can say, "The outcome occurred due to a combination of factors, including careful planning, effective communication, and timely execution." Because the team worked collaboratively and anticipated potential challenges, the project progressed smoothly and achieved its goals. Practicing sentences like these improves your ability to organize thoughts logically and makes your English sound structured and professional. It is also important to practice sentences for giving instructions or guidance politely and clearly. Advanced learners often need to explain tasks, procedures, or steps in work, school, or social situations. For example, to complete this task effectively, I suggest following these steps carefully and reviewing each part before submission. If you follow this approach, it will help ensure the process is smooth and efficient. Using sentences like these helps you communicate instructions confidently, clearly, and politely, which is essential in professional and academic environments. Another useful category for advanced learners is conditional or hypothetical sentences. Conversations often involve discussing possibilities, planning, or imagining different scenarios. Instead of giving a simple answer, you can say, "If we implement this strategy, it is likely that we will see improvements in efficiency and overall outcomes. Had we taken a different approach, the results might have been quite different, and we could have learned valuable lessons for future projects." Practicing conditional sentences helps you think critically, discuss alternatives, and participate actively in planning or problem-solving conversations. Using these sentences regularly improves your overall communication skills, including speaking, reasoning, and problem-solving. They allow you to express opinions, suggestions, and analyses naturally while sounding polite and professional. Conditional sentences also make it easier to handle complex discussions, whether in meetings, classroom debates, or casual conversations where clear reasoning is appreciated. It is also very helpful to practice descriptive sentences that explain trends, patterns, or observations in detail. Advanced learners often need to discuss work results, research findings, or social trends, and clear, descriptive sentences make your points more persuasive. For example, sales experienced a significant increase last month, especially in the online sector, which suggests that our new marketing strategy is effective. I observed a pattern in the data showing that customer engagement is highest during morning hours, which can help guide our planning. Using detailed descriptive sentences improves clarity, professionalism, and the impact of your communication, making it easier for listeners to understand and follow your ideas. Another key skill is practicing polite disagreement while offering alternatives. Simply saying, "I do not agree," is not sufficient at an advanced level. Instead, you can say, "I understand your approach, and I think it has merit. However, an alternative method could address the issue more effectively. While your suggestion is valuable, I propose a slightly different approach that might achieve better results." Sentences like these allow you to express a different opinion respectfully, participate in problem-solving, and maintain a professional tone. Regular practice helps you handle challenging conversations confidently without sounding rude or confrontational. It is equally important to practice sentences for summarizing discussions or decisions in work, school, or meetings. Summarizing clearly helps others understand key points and conclusions. For example, to summarize, we have discussed several options, and I believe the best approach is to combine the strengths of each idea. In conclusion, our discussion shows that careful planning and teamwork will lead to the most effective results. Using summarizing sentences frequently makes your communication organized, professional, and easier to follow, while reinforcing your ability to present conclusions confidently and clearly. These strategies, conditional sentences, descriptive statements, polite disagreement, and summarizing sentences, equip advanced learners to participate confidently, express ideas clearly, and handle discussions effectively. Regular practice ensures that your English sounds fluent, polished, and professional, whether in meetings, debates, academic settings, or casual conversations. Advanced English sentence practice, feedback, summaries, recommendations, and more. 1. Feedback and evaluations. Advanced learners should focus on giving detailed, constructive feedback instead of simple phrases like, "Good job." Examples: "I appreciate the effort you put into this project, and it has made a significant difference in the results we achieved together. Your approach is very effective, and incorporating this additional idea could make it even better." Practicing such sentences shows appreciation, offers constructive suggestions, and helps build stronger relationships in professional and personal settings. 2. Summarizing discussions. Summarizing clearly is essential in meetings, presentations, or casual conversations. Instead of vague statements, try, "To summarize our discussion, we considered several options, and the best approach seems to be combining elements from each idea." In conclusion, the key points are that careful planning, effective communication, and teamwork will ensure the success of this project. Regular practice with summary sentences helps your English sound structured, confident, and professional, leaving a strong impression. 3. Recommendations and suggestions. Instead of giving direct commands, use polite recommendations. I would recommend considering this approach because it has worked well in similar situations. One suggestion I have is to focus on these steps first, as it may lead to better outcomes and save time. These sentences allow you to share ideas tactfully, maintain a collaborative tone, and communicate confidently in professional or academic settings. 4. Expressing intentions or plans clearly when explaining future actions. Use sentences that convey responsibility and organization. I plan to complete this task by the end of the week and will review all details carefully. My intention is to organize the meeting tomorrow to discuss next steps and gather feedback from the team. Regular practice demonstrates that you are organized, responsible, and confident, suitable for both formal and informal situations. 5. Descriptive sentences. Advanced learners should practice sentences that explain actions, events, or experiences in detail. The project went very smoothly because the team coordinated well, followed the plan carefully, and overcame unexpected challenges together. The workshop was very helpful as it provided detailed explanations, practical examples, and opportunities to ask questions. Descriptive sentences make your communication precise, engaging, and easy to follow. 6. Polite disagreement with alternatives instead of bluntly saying, "I disagree." Use sentences that express different opinions respectfully. "I understand your idea, and it has merit, but another approach might work even better." While I see the value in your suggestion, I would like to propose a slightly different method that could give improved results. These sentences allow you to participate in problem-solving discussions professionally without causing conflict. 7. Explaining cause, effect, and reasoning. Logical reasoning is essential for advanced communication. Instead of vague statements like, "It worked because we tried hard," you can say, "The project succeeded because we anticipated potential challenges, communicated effectively as a team, and implemented solutions promptly, which led to a positive outcome." These sentences demonstrate critical thinking, attention to detail, and the ability to express complex ideas clearly. 8. Expressing preferences and priorities politely. Advanced learners need to communicate choices respectfully. I would prefer to address this issue first because it has the most immediate impact, but I am open to hearing other suggestions. My priority is to complete the main task efficiently while also ensuring that all supporting tasks are managed properly. Practicing these sentences helps you participate in decision-making actively while remaining professional and cooperative. Summary. Practicing sentences in these categories: feedback, summaries, recommendations, intentions, descriptions, polite disagreement, cause-effect reasoning, and expressing preferences helps advanced learners. Speak fluently and confidently. Think clearly and critically. Respond respectfully and thoughtfully. Communicate professionally, persuasively, and naturally. Regular use ensures your English becomes organized, polished, and impactful in professional, academic, or social settings. 1. Sharing experiences and insights. Advanced learners benefit from practicing sentences that convey experiences naturally and thoughtfully. Instead of short statements like, "I learned something," you can say, "During this project, I gained valuable insights into effective teamwork, which highlighted the importance of clear communication and proactive problem solving. From my experience, I realized that planning ahead and anticipating challenges can make a significant difference in achieving successful results." These sentences show reflection, critical thinking, and professional insight, making your communication engaging and meaningful. 2. Explaining cause and effect. Clear cause and effect sentences help you organize your ideas logically and persuasively. The project succeeded because the team anticipated challenges, communicated effectively, and implemented solutions promptly. By addressing potential risks early, we were able to complete the project on time and maintain high-quality standards. Practicing these sentences improves your ability to analyze situations and explain reasoning fluently, which is essential in professional and academic contexts. 3. Expressing priorities and logical thinking. Advanced learners often need to communicate priorities or strategic thinking. I would prioritize completing the main task efficiently while ensuring that all supporting tasks are managed properly. Based on the current information, focusing on this key step first may lead to better overall outcomes. These sentences help you think clearly while speaking, express structured reasoning, and respond confidently in complex discussions. 4. Promoting collaboration and inclusivity. Practicing collaborative sentences encourages teamwork and respectful communication. I think we could try this approach together, and I am open to ideas on how to improve it further. I value your opinion, and combining our suggestions may lead to better results. Using these regularly fosters a positive atmosphere, inclusivity, and professional rapport, whether in social, academic, or workplace settings. 5. Combining experiences, reflection, and solutions for advanced learners. Linking observations, reasoning, and actionable solutions makes your speech coherent and persuasive. By observing the challenges during this project, I realized that proactive planning, clear communication, and teamwork were key to achieving our goals successfully. Sentences like these combine experience, reflection, and analysis, allowing you to speak fluently, express ideas clearly, and engage listeners effectively. Summary: practicing sentences that share experiences, explain reasoning, reflect on outcomes, and encourage collaboration helps advanced learners communicate insights professionally and persuasively, organize thoughts logically and coherently, engage others and participate actively in discussions, develop a natural, fluent, and confident advanced English style. Regular practice ensures your language is structured, thoughtful, and effective in professional, academic, and social contexts.